Daytona, the second race of round 16, and it's a really tight gap at the cutoff. A lot of people of the playoff drivers did not score points, and a lot of them are looking to score points here and get above that cut line. Daytona is obviously a late race, and a lot of the cars are going to be tightly packed together. Expect to see the big one, and why don't we put up the point standings to see how they're going to be heading into this round.
Yeah, so you can see here, Meeks with the win at Nashville leads the points. He gets 5 playoff points for that win, so he is now locked into the round of 12. We got Sheridan, Hallec, Scott, Dixon, Alejo, Walker, Campbell, Reynolds, Scott, Chen, and Wright Jr. above the cut line. Below the cut line right now, actually, interestingly, tied with Cam Wright Jr. on that cut line is Leland Hill, Cam Wright Sr., Eddie Flores Jr., and Jackie Daytona. All 5 of those drivers actually at 5,005 points. Cam Wright Jr. with a tiebreaker right now is the one that's locked in, but it's not looking good for those drivers in the back half of the playoffs. I think, especially given that Solomon Sheridan, who leads in terms of points, has 5,061 points, and we see drivers in the back of the field with only 5,005 or maybe 5,010 points. I think they have some catch up to do. As we return back to the track, and let's get qualifying underway.
Drivers, to your car.
We see now, wow, Owen Scott starts on the pole. Hill second, Howell third, Ayanami fourth, Dixon fifth, and then it's Russell, David Scott, Baggis, Tander, Rame, Chevalier, Alejo, Miyazaki, Wilson, Wright Jr., Brown, Hayden, Riley Hill, Meeks, Leland Hill, Nicholas Wright, Leland Hill Jr., Roberto Crown Jr., Zach Campbell, Wright Sr., Benz, Parker, Ormond, Irvin, Walker, Patrick, Reynolds, Daytona, Flores Jr., Sheridan, Chen, Fox, Burridge, Kakir, Thompson, Hallec, and Dark Rain finally in the 27 car. Seems like another
terrible.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah, it seems like another weak qualifying session for some of the big name drivers out there. Sheridan, who leads the playoffs, he can afford to have not maybe the best weekend, so he started in the back. But we also see names like Senior's not starting that high up. Jerry Chen starting back. Saber Fox not in the playoffs, but he's starting pretty back in the field too. Although we are at Daytona, as long as they stay with the draft, starting the back might not be the worst thing in the world, just without a draft number passes.
And, Owen Scott with that pole, he has won the last 2 races at Daytona.
We know Owen Scott is a good plate racer, and I think he's got to prove it again. And get the race underway.
Yep. His only 2 wins, actually, this season come from Talladega, Daytona, and earlier this season, he won the Clash at Daytona.
Well, we know there's been a little bit of a feud going on with Owen Scott, claiming that he's a mid-driver who can only race at super speedways. But hey, if I were Owen Scott, if I get a win today, that's all I need.
It is. It locks you in the next round. Doesn't matter how you get it. Doesn't matter where you get it. It just advances you into the championship. So, if I'm a great plate driver, I'm not complaining.
If I win only 3 races and they're all at plate races, that doesn't matter. I still win a championship. Ooh, seems like maybe a problem on pit road.
Yep, that's going to have to be a restart there. Our rules don't allow people... And there's another one. The full pace lap, man.
And they are off. Hopefully, the entire field's off this time. Looks like
they are. It doesn't matter if they blow their engine as long as they get past the start-finish line. Once they get past the start-finish line, the race is official. But if you're watching anyone in this field, who are you going to be watching today?
Well, for me, as we said earlier, Owen Scott for sure. He's in the playoffs. He's an excellent plate racer. He is on pole. Pole position at tracks like this might not be the most beneficial thing in the world. You're going to get shuffled around a lot. I'm interested to see how Owen Scott takes that pole position and converts it to a win, possibly.
It is a bonus 5 points, no matter how you look at it, for getting the pole position. But Owen really would like that win. But he knows what to do. He just has to survive and stay alive until the end of the race and put himself in a position to where he can make that move on the last lap.
I think you said the key word there is survive here at Daytona. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you run in the lead all day and then you get taken out in a big one, or, God forbid, you start the big one. This is a long race, and you want to be able to see that checkered flag. Because you can have a terrible car, but if everybody else around you gets taken out, you can still salvage a top 10 finish out of it if you just survive. You can run up from all day and not score any points. So I think for some of our playoff drivers who at this point might be looking at more of a point situation than a win, they really need to survive, as the pace car is going to pull in to pit road this lap. Into the green now is Owen Scott. Green flag is out here at Daytona as they head into turn 1. Scott lunging out front. We see most of the
start. You see the start get a little bunched, spread out there. A lot of people don't get the proper restarts at these tracks, and I believe that Center Howell making a move on Owen Scott already for the lead.
On lap 1, we see Scott retreats to the high side, and he will lose that first position.
That inside line is so important here at Daytona. You hardly ever see a guy on the outside get up to the lead or make a pass.
Sure. And that will be Xander Howell who leads the first lap here at Daytona. I will say though, if I were a driver who's running up front early, I would maybe try to duck to that high line for at least a little bit until after maybe the pit stops, when the field is more spread out and there are less cars within a single path, to pull the moves onto the low line and try to win this race.
Well, that would be a smart strategy.
That's too risky.
You might have seen some guys not qualify well on purpose just so they can stay in the back or make their way up front. Because that big one typically happens within the first 15 laps.
There is danger to purposely not qualifying well, and that is you fall out of the draft. We see a lot of cars in the back are very capable cars. We see Solomon Sheridan, who qualified, obviously in the car that's leading the championship, pretty late in the field, and Jerry Chen, though both of those are CT Motorsports cars. We know they're fast cars. They might be able to sandbag a little bit just in qualifying because they know they'll be able to keep up with the draft. And that will set themselves up in a good position when the big one does happen.
Meanwhile, we're 3 wide for the lead here, and you saw Alejo really have to lean on that 43 car exiting turn 2. And that's what I'm worried about. These cars get really tight off of turn 2, and you really have to force the car outside of you up the track. So 3 wide will not work. Or you can make it work, but 3 wide really won't work in the late stage of these races when the tires are going to fall off.
For sure, and I'm surprised that they're making these moves this early on in the race. We see they're going to go 3 wide again here. Alejo in the lead all by himself, but there's 3 wide behind him. I don't know.
You can see how much that inside line has to push up the middle line exiting 2. And that's where I think we're going to see most of these wrecks happen, up off of the turn 2.
For sure.
And you see Cameron Wright Jr. towards the lead, and you got Dylan Hayden in second.
You see how Alejo just made that duck to the high line? He wants to get.
Wait a minute, 4 wide in the triover nearly. That's not going to work.
That's not going to go while heading into turn 1. These cars, they tend to slide up, and if you're 4 wide, somebody's going to end up in the wall.
You see, look at how many guys let off the gas because they saw that up front. And Jimmy Irving has a problem, actually.
I think the one held up some of the field. That's why.
I think you're right. I think the one car had an engine issue, and some of the field had to let up to avoid hitting that the stricken car.
Former winner of the Daytona 250, he's out of this race. More than likely.
And this is what I'm talking about, the dangers of running back in the field. You see some of the drivers that has now lost the lead pack draft. But it's still early in the race, and I wouldn't worry too much because they're going to wreck and they're going to get restacked. And as you can see here up in the lead pack, still 3 wide everywhere.
I believe it was Bradley Ream who made that 4 wide move, or nearly made it work, but he clearly did because he's up front. I mean, 4 wide in the trioval is insane. Never thought I would have seen that, let alone made it work somehow.
Somehow no contact, or at least no cars out of it.
But that second pack back there, you can see Olivia Reynolds, playoff driver. Blake Parker back there as well, along with Sheridan. So a few playoff drivers back here. I'm not sure if they're in the points. As long as they're in the top 28, they will get points. Owen Scott all the way on the apron. Uh-oh.
I think Scott has a problem.
Scott with an issue. That's another Chevy with an issue here.
Owen Scott slow on the apron. Maybe an engine issue or a tire issue. He doesn't seem to be smoking. I think it's going to come to a hold here. Is that going to bring out a caution?
I don't know. It might. He's off the track. We'll have to see what the officials do here. If he does not make it around backed up hit road.
I believe Owen Scott is stopped on the apron. I don't know if that's going to bring out a caution, but as of right now, they're still green. Looks like Owen Scott has found a way back to the road. They are still going at it. Still 3 wide up, mostly in the first pack, still 3 wide.
And if I'm a Chevy, I'm worried.
For sure, that's 2 Chevys after this race with mechanical issues.
Including
the pole-winning car of Cam Wright, Owen Scott.
You see this 4-pack of Chevys right here? trying to catch up. And Nick Tander's going to lose the draft, seemingly, of this main pack.
Oh, cautions, yeah, so far in this race. Seen some daring moves.
4 wide in the back of the pack here with Alejo, Riley Hill, and a few others.
Going into turns 3 and 4, he smooth him back out to 3 wide. That's probably a good idea. I wouldn't be staying 4 wide in that formation.
He made that. Riley Hill made it work though, so 4 wide does work, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Definitely not, especially this early in the race. You first have to finish.
Flandre Wilson up to the lead. We've seen her win a few times in this series, but never at Daytona. Oh, contact! David Dixon and Wright around.
Teammate!
Oh, they're flipping! Flying! DHL car is flying. That's sure going to be a caution, right?
Yes, certainly.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yes,
Crash.
Confirmed. The caution is out. And honestly, I'll have to break into the commentary. But apparently, this collision actually reminds me of a fatal collision 2 seasons ago. And it kind of mirrored it. Let me play it again. After I pause it. But look at that. This kind of mirrored that collision back in 2 seasons ago. That looks like a really hard one. Like a high-speed crash. Who is that? Jr. and David Dixon. 2 Southern Cross cars. Just completely dumped them like scrap metal. Dumped them like a piece of scrap.
I mean, you can see the part off of, I believe that was Junior's car, just fly up into the air and come back down on the track.
Man, it seems like they just ran out of real estate. And once these cars are glued to each other, they don't get off of each other. Look at how far that piece of debris that came off of Junior's car, look at how far that flew into the air. Man, that's a hard hit. Super hard hit for both their drivers. We hope they're okay.
Yeah, honestly, honestly, from my point of view, injury-wise, I would say that looks like a serious injury to me. Potentially a fatal one. Or, maybe not a fatal one, but you can't judge. I can't assume too much, but that's all I can say, really. I'll leave it up to you guys.
I mean, look at those safer barriers. They are destroyed.
Wow, I hope the drivers are okay. Obviously, they're going to be heading to the hospital after this one, but look at Junior, man. That is a hard hit for Junior.
Well, the officials have thrown out the red flag. All the cars are going to be coming down pit road for that incident.
Yeah, I'm assuming the red flag's been thrown because some repair work needs to be done on that inside safer barrier there. That's a super hard hit. 2 Southern Cross Toyotas right into the inside barrier.
We got an onboard on the 95. The camera survived somehow. See, Junior's up in second and believe.
I think he just gets. Oh my god. I think he just coming out of that corner. I think Junior gets a bit loose and gets into David Dixon. And unfortunately, in these cars, once you make contact, you guys just get stuck together, and both of them went barreling towards the inside wall. And there's really not much you can do if you're Junior or if you're Dixon to slow car down.
Looked like he hit that thing at about 180 miles per hour.
Man, that is a tough hit for that driver.
And Dixon is just as destroyed. I don't know who got the worst of it.
Alright, I think on board with Dixon. Oh, man. I feel like both of those cars got a super hard hit into the wall.
2 playoff drivers and 2 teammates. That is not what you want to see.
And especially a driver like Junior who is on that cut line. Man, that does not look good for the 2 drivers from Southern Cross. You see that here, David Dixon siding across his roof.
doesn't go as far as the 95, but it's still a hard hit. The 95 is all the way near the grass.
Looks like the 95. That is a really, really dramatic crash. The way that car rotates in midair, I think 180 miles into safer barrier. That's what does it. It looks like we're gonna be back live.
They brought the cars back out. They're under the safety car. They have fixed those safer barriers the best they can. And I believe Jimmy Irving is back out on the track. So whatever issue they had, they have fixed it.
Well, let's look at how they stack up before we go live here. It looks like Ayanami is going to be scored as a leader here with Howe second.
Now I'm wondering if anyone's going to come down pit road.
I don't know. It looks like some of them are gonna maybe think about coming down to pit road here.
Yeah, I believe that's Ray and Ami down the pit road.
Bunch of drivers.
A bunch of guys.
So, you see a split strategy here. A bunch of drivers stay out, and a bunch of drivers come in and pit.
And it's not even Chevys, Toyotas. Doesn't matter what manufacturer. I mean, seems that they're all going on their own strategy today.
Yeah, it looks like a split strategy. We see drivers like Jerry Chen. I saw him coming down to pit, and obviously leader Ray Ayanami. You see Leland Hill right there in the pit road.
Almost contacted the Don. Flashback to the last race. He does not want another pit road incident. Seems fuel only for 54.
I don't know about looks like maybe the 88 car exited the pit road first. Or oh, it looks like Owen Scott's back on track too. So that wasn't an engine issue for that Chevrolet.
Maybe the 1 and 12 had the same issues regardless. I believe they are a few laps down. 3 laps down for Owen, and I believe that's around 4 laps down for the 1. If Owen could somehow make this up, that would be amazing.
I don't think that car's going to be in contention. But they do have the benefit of the guys pitting. I wonder what the game plan is for the guys that didn't pit here. Because they're going to have to come pit soon, and we see the last car that's going to be scored in the scoring loop is, in fact, 47 Jerry Chen, who did come in and pit that lap.
We will update you on the status of the drivers of the 45 and 95 when we can. We have not heard anything yet, but we do know for sure that the driver of the 95 was airlifted to the hospital.
Yeah, that's a hard hit for Wright Jr. We hope he's doing all right, but they are being evaluated at a hospital. They have the best treatment here. Daytona, very unfortunate situation. Super hard hit.
And I thought I'd break into it again. I just thought, speaking of that crash, I think that will also become a fairy tale to mention. Oh, bit of disruption here. I was just about to say, because I know you guys decided to put up a love story of Wright Jr. and the you know what, and I guess this will be something interesting to mention.
I think that is Nick Tander with an issue. He has blown his engine.
And 3 of the 4 Southern Cross racing cars are out of this race.
That is
going good.
Up. That's the 3rd Southern Cross racing car out of the race. Obviously, the 2 involved in a serious accident before, and now a 3rd Southern Cross racing car with an engine issue. That's a Toyota. We've seen Chevys have issues here today, but looks like the Toyota of Nick Tander is going to come down pit road with what seems like an obvious engine failure.
You see Sabre Fox going by her teammate, and they are the lone survivor of SCR here.
I would be very, very worried if I were Sabre Fox. Not necessarily what's going to happen to my car, but Sabre Fox, they're the only remnant of their team. If Southern Cross hopes to salvage anything from this race, it has to be with Sabre Fox.
Now, there are still a lot of cars on track. The only ones that should not be on the pace, or might be, would be the 1 or the 12, because the 2 cars that got damaged are out of the race.
But I'm wondering where they're going to stack up. Are they going to stack up in front of the cars that just pitted?
I believe so. They did stay out.
Because
it looks like they are.
They might hold up the guys that just pitted. That might be a game changer because that might allow the cars that didn't pit on this lap to go through here. The likes of Alejo. That I feel like that might be why these drivers didn't come in and pit because they didn't want to start behind the potentially stricken cars, the 12 and the 1. That will be interesting to watch. And to the point that was brought up earlier, driver of the 88 car, Olivia Reynolds, I don't know if her team has told her about the situation regarding 95, but I wouldn't want to hear about it if I were her.
I wouldn't want to hear if I was the 6 either.
For sure, both the 6 and the 95. I believe the 6 was running the same pack, because we know the 88 was further back, but the 6 car, Wright Sr, he was in the same pack as his son when that happened. I don't know. He might have actually witnessed the insane incident that just took place. Obviously, feel bad for the team. I believe pace car will be in this lap. And that's an unfortunate way to sort of open this race.
It is. I mean,
this car does turn in this lap.
That's the type of wrecks you don't want to see.
You really don't. As already Alejo, the 4 car leads them to the start finish line. Wonder if the pack's gonna break up with the 12 and 1 car.
Honestly, what would be a great salvage for SCR is if Saber Fox just brings the car back in one piece, because they've had 3.
If I were that team's owner, I think you're right. As long as Saber Fox doesn't destroy that 4th car, I think that will be a good day for SCR. If the drivers are okay and the Saber Fox somehow brings the car home in one piece, that's going to be
the 43 looking for the lead on the 4. Jay Chevalier moving to the 47 next season. He's got a lot to prove to the drivers in the garage and the fans. And if he could pick up a win here today, even though it's at Daytona, I think that would prove a lot.
Yeah, many questioned the move of Jay Chevalier to C Team Motorsports. Many question if that was, correct move from CT Motorsports' part, because they retracted an offer to Owen Scott in order to approach Jay Chevalier about starting for CT Motorsports next year in the 47. But we have seen that 12 Owen Scott have issues today, so might be the day that and as they go 3 wide once again, they're in the lead pack. That went really well for them last time.
Went very well the last time we went 3 wide for the lead.
And these drivers are daring, to say the least. Looks like they're going to sort themselves out a little bit here, but still 2 wide up front. Doesn't seem like the pack has been split up too... Actually, looks like the pack did get split up here a little bit. Everything's still semi-formed together, but I can't really get a clear grasp on how the cars that pitted versus the cars that didn't pit are shaping up. As they're gonna wreck, I think.
They're gonna wreck! They wreck!
I think that's gonna be the big one. Multiple drivers involved here. Aw, man.
What a hit!
Second caution is gonna be out here at Daytona International Speedway.
And it has to happen again by going 3 wide.
You're right. I think This time, last time it was because 3 wide and they wrecked the inside wall. This time they wrecked the outside retaining wall. That's a Lay's car. Getting the butt end of that wreck.
I hope that Fox avoiding a wreck.
I can't really see clearly who got out of that and who didn't.
I think it'd be best to count who is alive after that.
Yeah. The 47 car might be with some damage here.
And again, it's off of turn 2, the place I talked about earlier.
Massive hit for the 47 car, Jerry Chen. That's his race going to be over.
Roberto Crown Jr. also with a lot of damage.
Man, this race has been wild so far.
Probably one of the more chaotic races as we watch the replay and see what happened.
You can see them going 3 wide there, and it looks like they just ran out of real estate.
Another one where they run out of real estate again. Nicholas Wright involved.
Who wasn't involved, honestly?
I think that was Bradley Ream going for a slide there.
It was Bradley Ream going for a slide. Multiple dodges involved in that one as well.
I mean, if you're a playoff driver that survived that got avoided that, I mean, you got to be having the day of your life right now.
For sure.
Go try the lottery.
Yeah, many playoff drivers involved in that one, actually. Got a 47 have a hard hit there.
So watch the 92 just go up on the 72 and the 40.
Hey, Meeks tagged, not a ton of damage, but he does get tagged.
He gets contact, but that's a third dodge, I believe, involved in the wreck.
And this is what I talked about. This is what I talked about at Nashville. You want to get your good race in there because Daytona and Knoxville might not be the kindest to you.
Exactly, and now I think a few drivers that might be in trouble here. Obviously Junior, who was on the cut line, but now also Jerry Chen, who was only 5 points above the cut line. He just got taken out in this wreck. Now,
we watched the 51 avoid it. Oh, never mind.
A little bit of tagged on the right side. I don't believe that's going to be huge damage for that 51 car, though.
Tiny tag.
Yeah, I don't believe that's going to be huge damage for 51 car. A lot of drivers who are involved in the accident actually come out pretty okay. Obviously, a lot of drivers are hard hits primary rear, but some of them actually might come out okay in this. I don't know.
As we watch the 18 of Leland Hill Jr.
It's in the back of that Ziegler car. And gets spun around. Not great for the auto owner's car. That's going to be...
Not a good day for many drivers.
Yeah, that's going to be the end for a lot of drivers who are hoping to get a good result here.
As Dylan Hayden is counted the leader here at the caution.
I mean, we might see a huge upset here, guys, with these playoff drivers that got damaged, and I don't even know who has a clean car.
There are definitely more cars out here that are damaged than cars that aren't. And does this open up another opportunity for some strategy move?
Yes, it will.
We'll have to see. I believe those guys that pitted.
Some of them came back in, I believe.
If I was Owen or Irving, I would stay out here to try to get my lap.
They have stayed out. The 40, watch the 44, the 2. I believe those are the only 2 drivers not to pit because they had wrecked. They had issues earlier on today.
So now I go back to talk about Owen Scott. If these incidents keep happening, and Owen Scott keeps staying out, he might gain those laps back, and he all of a sudden might find himself in a really good track position.
As Dylan Hayden, I believe, wins the race off pit road.
How did the 6 get away from that? I feel like the 6 didn't get much contact over that incident. Wright Sr, who was below the cut line, I believe, might now find himself one of the drivers who can maybe benefit from this race if he finishes.
And that's a big if.
It is a big if, given the the way that this race has gone so far. Nothing is guaranteed in this race. Nothing's guaranteed in life, but in Daytona, even less guaranteed. Looks like cars are having some trouble forming up back there. Really squirrely.
Maybe a little bit of confusion on who's where after that caution.
Be a little bit of contact for some of the drivers. And I know some of you might be eager to hear about updates regarding David Dixon and Cam Wright Jr., but as of right now, I have not received any updates yet.
I mean, we've seen with these cars that while they can be safe, at tracks like these, you can only do so much.
Yeah. A wreck like of that magnitude.
If this goes green, we might see a little bit of fuel strategy come into play.
We're about halfway through this race, just shy of.
And I believe we are back green and the 4 car leading this little pack here. We're really gonna see who is on and off the pace. So we got side by side for the lead. There's not that many cars in this pack. A few of them are falling off behind, maybe trying to get around some of the slower cars that have damage. But there are a few guys in this pack that I see that could really get their first win or first win of the season or just an upset, a first career win period. Some of these guys really need these runs.
And look at the back of that lead pack. It's who we've been talking about because they're the only Southern Cross racing car, Sabre Fox. Trying to just bring the car back in one piece, probably get a top 10 out of this.
That little second pack that's strung out behind the leaders, a few of them might be able to catch up to that lead draft. We might have a bigger pack. Right now, we're still 3 wide. I don't know what they're doing. after the incidents I saw earlier, I would not be going 3 wide. But that is the fearlessness of the garage here in the PMU Cup Series. A lot of them want to win, and they don't matter. They don't care how they do it.
Slow car. Holding up the pack 4 wide.
Uh-oh. And this is not what you want to see. We've seen some of the worst wrecks happen when a slow car holds up the pack. Just either trying to get around. I believe that is Leland Hill Jr. who was holding up the pack in that 18 Auto Owners Toyota.
That is Leland Hill Jr. as people are making their way around LHJ, but I have no clue what's going to happen after that.
We're going to see him again for sure before this race ends. And he is going to be a
2 wide
massive
lap
problem.
bars. That's just not a good combination.
No, it is not. And I believe that is the 6 that finally gets past the lap car, along with a few others.
05 finally gets past the lead, past the lap car. Oh, we got a wreck! I believe I saw smoke. Yep.
Oh, you're right. That is going to be smoke on a backstretch. Another wreck. 3rd of the day.
And
Sorry.
Olivia Reynolds involved!
And they were going... Once again, it's 3 wide.
It's 3 wide everywhere. This is
That
why.
is the 17 of Matthew Hill that went 3 wide.
Oh, that sucks for Olivia Reynolds.
That's going to be Olivia Reynolds out of this race.
Once again, those are 2 teammates that forced it 3 wide.
Bad day for CTM. There's the 47's out of it, and now the 88's out of it. Man.
Honestly, sucks for Reynolds.
And you know, I've been thinking, where has Jack Hallec been through all this? I have not seen that 14 car very much.
I believe they were involved in a wreck earlier.
And if they're still running, Jack's got to be pretty satisfied with that, even though with the damage.
Just so I'll let you know, Jackie Hallec is in the top 10 currently, as I just showed you. She's in 7th right now.
Oh, never mind. I don't think Jack has damage. And that is a good thing for the regular season champion to see. As I believe if Jack gets a really good finish here, they might be locked into the next round just on points alone.
Dex racing with no roof.
Or laughing about it. I don't know if he is.
I mean, Fox did it earlier at the Daytona 250. They got a top 20 out of that.
And I think that was Alejo that was involved in that 3 wide wreck.
Alejo, who's been the leader for the last 2 cautions.
That's another playoff driver involved in a wreck, but he seems like he can keep going.
Look at how many playoff drivers' names have been mentioned today when we talk about wrecks.
That is just Daytona for you. Whatever playoff driver that's below the cut line that can still race and maybe race for the lead is going to have a huge points day.
And where are we going next week? Exactly, Knoxville. That's going to be just as wild, if not more wild than this.
And that's a huge unknown. There's never been a dirt race in the PMU Cup Series, and I believe the only person that has experience on dirt is Xander Howell when he won a D2 race at New Egypt on dirt.
That's talking about in top series stock cars. Obviously, a lot of our drivers come from dirt backgrounds, but in these stock cars,
way different.
Few examples being Saber Fox and I believe David Dixon, both racing in World of Outlaws.
But obviously, that's a completely different type of racing from dirt World of Outlaws. And those sprint cars to now these heavy stock cars on those tracks.
We're going to be throwing a 3,000-pound stock car around Knoxville. It's not going to go well.
Sure.
From our test earlier.
Sure, drivers like Saber Fox and David Dixon might have a bit of an advantage there, but not sure how much that's going to help them when they're racing with a 42-car field at Knoxville.
I believe we're going green this time.
I believe we are. We're going to have, I believe, 30 cars. Oh, no, not 30. 29 on the lead lap. This is going to be a pretty chaotic 20 laps.
It's gonna be maybe another 3-4 laps from then, but since I guess you guys may have asked, I'm just gonna skim through and then we'll get on from there without an hour break, I suppose. So
Coming to the green flag here at Daytona with 19 to go.
It's been a while, 31 laps. I don't know what the last 19 laps is going to bring here, but
who knows, as we are green for the fourth time today.
I don't know what to expect.
Expect the unexpected. That is what Daytona is known for. As the 19, Jackie Daytona takes the lead on the 44, Zach Campbell. Not as hectic as earlier. Thank God.
Well, there are less. I feel like there are a few factors to that. One, there are less cars out there that are, good enough to be making moves like some of the drivers earlier in the race. And now, the laps are winding down. You need to be thinking about finishing. As we say that, they go 3 wide again, because that's gone really well all day.
It definitely hasn't, but with the laps ticking down, Jack Daytona, the 16th seed, entering the playoffs, could be a huge upset if they can advance into the next round. I mean, Leland Hill's below the cutoff. He's up here. So's the 6th car of Wright Sr. He's below. That's 3 guys below the cutoff that are up here.
And I wonder what Wright Sr. is thinking right now. His son obviously involved in that huge accident, and then his potential future daughter-in-law also involved in an accident, and now he might have the chance to actually win this thing. With the benefiting from the misfortunes of Reynolds and Jr., Jr. is actually running really well, and he didn't qualify well. He qualified, I believe, way in 20th, almost 30th. Look at where he is now.
And
he was, but while we got some, I think that's Blake Parker making a move for third. And I'm going to exit the booth here and head down to the hospital, see if I can find out, and I'll report back to you when I know what's going on. So good luck with the rest of the racing, and let's hope for an exciting finish.
all right, thank you, AJ.
Sure. Thank you, AJ. As we continue around track here.
And if we want to talk about races, the D2 Disney Plus series finished up at Talladega last night with guess what? The driver of the 05, Saber Fox, taking the checkered flag over Wright Sr. So one of those two maybe at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the day.
That is true. Saber Fox, who I believe is up here in this lead pack right now. In the
they are going. They're nearly 3 wide. Going out of 2. Let's hope that doesn't make a wreck.
Yeah, that is the sole remaining SCR car in this field. Maybe Saber Fox will make something happen here too. Who's not in the playoffs, but
it will be bittersweet for the 05, as they were wrecked out of multiple Daytona 250s and more plate tracks this season. Can they finally get to victory lane?
Now as the laps tick down, it still seems as it's Blake Parker, I believe, out front.
It is Blake Parker up in front. Tick-tock. The clock is ticking for the rest of these drivers to get up there.
Inside.
And here comes the 05, it looks like.
Look at that. In this series, we don't have commentators' curses, we have commentators. I don't know. The 05 is not third on the bottom.
Commentators, good luck, I guess.
I guess they're going 3 wide in the middle of the pack. The 05, if I were Saber Fox, I would want to just get clear of any 3 wide action and lunge to the lead as soon as I can. Looks like that's.
And I believe they're making a move.
3 wide all the way in the front pack. Definitely a terrible combination. 3 wide for the lead. Saber Fox goes for it.
Trying to clear the 02 of Blake Parker and the 11 of Solomon Sheridan. Can they do it?
I believe they're still 3 wide.
They're still 3 wide, but Saber Fox is cleared him. Saber Fox to the lead at Daytona.
He's gonna block.
What an upset this would be for the 05 of Saber Fox. As we come down to 12 to go.
Obviously. 2 cars.
As we come to 12 to go.
Third car with a mechanical issue. If Saber Fox can win this, I don't know. Can he hold on to can they hold on to the lead for that long?
I think they will, because you saw the run that they had on that inside lane, and not many Toyotas are standing in this field.
I think they are putting in a little of a gap to the second place right now, which is surprising.
Could this finally be their day?
I don't know. Lead a full lap without any challenges.
No challenges from any of the drivers as they put a little bit of a gap to second place. I think Saber Fox has finally found their one great skill here and can finally get to victory lane in D1. What a win this would be for Southern Cross.
Another lap, and it still seems like not much challenges. Look at the gap that Saber Fox is putting down.
Oh my goodness, Saber
Fox! How this car is handling right now.
I mean, as we heard from Jerry Chen himself, he said that Saber Fox still has the spark in him from season 4. Will this be the one showing that Saber Fox cannot be messed with.
There are some lap cars ahead, which I will add might be able to benefit Saber Fox, because look at Saber Fox. They are running all alone just by themselves. And behind them, that's 3 wide. So Saber Fox might be able to avoid these lap cars, but the cars behind him or behind them might not be able to as easily as they approach these lap cars. And as expected, Saber Fox cuts through much disruption, and it's like the middle line and the high line gets held up.
That's good for the 05. That's good for the 05. That's great for the 05. But the 48 of Dylan Hayden.
Well, the 48 has caught up to the 05.
But, as he tries to make a move, but Saber Fox loves that.
Saber Fox can do here. Hayden's going to clear that 05. There's still time left. Jumbo, the lead lap just got. The lead pack just got super jumbled up by those lap cars.
And
the damage from earlier incidents.
And the way Fox won the race at Talladega was by getting a closing lap maneuver. Can it happen again?
We will see. I believe there are about 8 laps to go in this race.
I believe 8. I don't know, though.
We are currently at lap 43, just to let you know. So, 8 laps, yep, you're correct.
As we come down to 7 to go, tick-tock.
That is the application that many teenagers are using to upload videos.
Nope, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the clock, the noise a clock makes. As time is running out, can Dylan Hayden go to victory lane tonight at Daytona? As we have 7 to go. Will we see that run that the 05 had earlier? I think the lap cars may have ruined Saber Fox's night. Cause they really didn't get jumbled back like they did. They did as they go 3 wide. Not again. No, not again. Thank goodness. Not again. Here comes the 05 though. Pushing the 12 of Owen Scott. Well, no, not the 12. Yeah, pushing the 12 of Owen Scott. That 12 can just help the 05 out. This may be the race where Saber Fox goes into victory lane. And Saber Fox makes a move to the inside. Saber Fox pushing! Going to the inside lane!
I feel like Saber Fox.
Dylan Hayden trying to hold off.
There will be 2 to go come to the line. There will be 2 to go come to the line. We know that 05 is fast. We know that 05 is fast, and he isn't, or they're in such good position right now. 1 to go, I believe.
2 to go. I believe 2 to go. No, 4 to go. Well, no, 5 to go. We're 4 to go. And Saber Fox has made their way up from 38th to 2nd.
Now going for first.
And they get the shove from Eddie Flores Jr. Will the shock win come at Daytona? Saber Fox to the lead.
Hey, look who's behind him. Wright Sr.
Is this going to end like Talladega? Oh my goodness, coming to 2 to go at the line. Next, a caution will end the race though, so they could wreck it. Saber Fox would be declared your winner.
Well, if they will though, now it's the 5 of Alejo Jr. I believe challenging Saber Fox.
That's Riley Hill. That's Riley Hill. That's Riley Hill. I believe. I believe Riley Hill. I don't know. I'm confused on the.
Motorsports, it's just a bunch of hills. It's some hill is challenging Saber Fox.
It is now. But
black car.
Where did they come from?
Oh no, that's Saber's race. Saber gets blocked by Ray Ayanami, the lap car.
Ray Ayanami, the lap car, ruins the 05's day, but
up front.
Yeah, that race is over. Race is over for the 05.
First name here, Hill.
Ray Ayanami has ruined the race for the 05. They did not want to see Saber Fox in victory lane today, so they ruined the race for them.
Somehow Ray Ayanami helping out a Leland Motorsports car didn't think I'd love to see that day.
Of course. What? And Jackie Hallec may pull off a win.
This is wild. What am I even watching? Is it 27 car on the lead lap?
Yes, the 27's on the lead lap.
So, do you mind seeing an RSIE win, is what you're saying?
Maybe.
Good position to make a move here.
The story of the day, of course, has to be David Dixon and Wright Jr. as Jackie Hallec pulls off the win after Saber Fox dominated the last 10 laps just to get ruined by a lap car.
It will be Hallec here. Man, that was something to witness. We hope the drivers are okay. I don't know if we've gotten any updates yet. AJ Carlson headed to the hospital.
We have not.
AJ Carlson was heading to the hospital last we checked.
I am back, and I have gotten some information. I know that Dixon is okay, and he is talking. I'm not sure if he's sustained any injuries, but I have not heard anything. They would not tell me anything about the 95, Wright Jr.
It's not good news to hear right now.
Not good news to hear on Wright Jr.
Where did the 6 car cross the finish line? I believe the 6 car finished
third. Not third. The 6 was also on the same line as the 05.
Yeah, I feel like the 6 might have gotten blocked by
the 6 and the 6 and the 05 were gonna have a great finish, if not for Ray Ayanami. This is the one time I really want to say Ray Ayanami ruined the race for the 05.
Well, this race honestly was very baffling. I'd say the way how I predict who is going to win the race. Well, first lap I thought it'll be Drew Walker. Then I thought perhaps Riley Hill could get a win because he has not had a win for quite a long time, and perhaps a couple of other drivers who had hardly won a race for God knows how long, and now this has happened. And guess what? Jackie Hallec wins her 6th win in this season. So that is a record equaling win this season for Jackie Hallec. So there's a good chance that record could be broken. And as we take a look at the fastest lap time, it's going to be Olivia Reynolds, despite that heavy crash. Well, that crash that wreck she got involved. And there you have it. So here are the standings.
Oh, look at that. The sad finish for Saber Fox went from 1st to 17th on the last lap.
Wow.
It's Daytona
Went
racing
from
still.
So
Yeah, but Ray and Ami comes right on the right there and just blocks the crap out of the 6 and the 05.
look at the down at the bottom, the last few finishers. We got David Dixon, we got Cam Wright Jr., we got Jerry Chen, we got Nick Tander, but he's not really in the playoffs. Those are all playoff drivers. Look at Olivia Reynolds finishing down at the bottom. That's man.
As we thought, like with 3 laps to go, we saw Saber Fox charge their way back up to the lead, and it just was not enough because Ray and Ami helps out some reason the 5 just for him not to win the race.
I guess it's more exciting when you guys are commentating and seeing the race live, but I guess it's hard for me to think of which race is the best so far this season. Even though that we're getting close to the end of the season, I'm just saying. So, but I guess it's up to you what you think. So, but honestly, this race, as I say, as what Jerry Chen said as well, this race was wild with. And it started off with a terrible wreck with Cameron Jr. and David Dixon, leaving them with injuries, which we're gonna question how severe the injuries are at the moment. Obviously, that will be relied on from AJ Kelson, who will give us updates of what's happening to them too at the moment. So far, they're seeming okay, but it's too early to say how severe the injuries are. So, any comments? What highlights of the race so far?
Yeah, I think that's enough. Enough said from all of us. That was just a shocking race turned out.
Shocking move by the 15 Ray and Ami. That's all I gotta say.
It is crazy.
Because we thought Saber Fox had the win there, because they had that middle lane perfectly intact. They saw their move, and Ray and Ami just comes in and ruins it.
This is what happens with lap cars, so it does happen. But what's the most concerning part is what has happened so far in this race. So yeah.
Yeah, lap cars can make or break your day. That's really what they can do.
I guess that's it, I suppose. Did I show the fastest lap? I believe I did, yep. Olivia Reynolds.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Don't know why my mind's not thinking me straight, but there you go. So I guess that's pretty much it. I would say, honestly, it's been a wild race. Honestly, it's been a wild start as well. Remember when some of us watched the race live, the original race start live? That was absolutely insane. Like, we didn't expect the game to crash that hilariously. Honestly, I would say. I think that'll be the biggest highlight.
That was the greatest plunder in all of PMU history.
Maybe. We'll just call it a meme as well, because it's the race itself is a whole meme. Yeah.
I enjoy that meme.
It's a meme.
I can't wait to use that as a GIF in our server.
Yeah. Don't know if it happens on any other server, but who knows. So
as we see Cam Wright Sr., even after being trapped by the 15 Ray and Ami, gets a 12th place finish.
So I guess we can move on from there.
I guess.
We all know what's going to happen next race. It's going to be a new challenge. That's right, we'll be at Knoxville at the dirt track. the first dirt track round ever in the series, and I think this race needs to be a very special one, if not a very memorable one as well. Like, hopefully we can get some fun out of it for that race and see how it goes from there. I'm eager to see who's going to commentate next race. I will do my best to Knoxville win.
Well, I heard that next race, Knoxville will also be the first of the Jerry Chen's Camaro Joyride segment. Where,
That is what I've heard.
From NBC Sports around the track, and that should be fun to watch.
That should be very interesting.
The fans, what the track looks like. First dirt race feels like a good place to introduce that segment. So, we'll see.
We will see.
Well, we hopefully can expect more tracks to be shown as Jerry Chen does the job at showing off his awesome skills, if not awesome not skills, or performing on the track. But who knows? That's just my my instinct. So that's what I would think, really. Though. But anyway. So any last words?
I guess that's it. That was a pretty great race, honestly. Just hoping Junior's all right after that wreck.
Yeah, hoping Junior's all right.
Updates coming up to the next race. We'll find out their fate for the two drivers. So, other than that, let's draw this whole broadcast to a close. And I guess some of us, well, I guess all of us, we're gonna head off to VC, the video chat. So voice chat, I mean. So in that case, thank you everyone for watching today's race and all the commentators that have taken part today, in the likes of Cam Wright, aka AJ Kelson, Saber Fox, Jerry Chen, and I think David Dixon was here very briefly. Don't know about Owen Scott, he was here, but I don't think I've heard him say anything. So other than that, sounds pretty much, it sounds, I mean, seems pretty much it. So once again, thank you everyone for watching this race, and we'll see you at the next race at Knoxville, the first ever dirt track of the series. Thank you everyone, and we will see you all back onto the track very, very, very soon.